All right. Today, hello everyone. I want to start off by saying that, and I would like to start off with a question. What is a good way that we can enhance our verbal messages and non-verbal messages that we send off to people? What's a good way we can work on that? What's a good way to come off using verbal messages? What's good strategies of using that? I would like you guys to think about that through this presentation, and some of your questions will probably be answered, or your responses probably will be the same response as mine. First and foremost, I would like to start off with a definition of verbal and non-verbal messages. Verbal messages are messages sent by word, both oral and written. Non-verbal messages, communication without words. So that can go as far as facial expressions, posture, your head movement, body movement, and all of the above. It's basically communication without words, just physical interaction. Okay, the book that I will be touching bases on and referring my concepts to is it's called Self-Improvement. It's by Rudolph Allers with a PhD. And I will be touching on different ways as far as the self-improvement on how you can improve your verbal and non-verbal messages. Now, I would like to discuss how your verbal messages can be improved. Rudolph felt that reading benefits your verbal messages. This is reasons why. And it goes as follows. 1, they can improve your vocabulary. 2, it expresses your ideas more clearly. And 3, it eliminates weakness in language skills. I can personally relate to how it can improve your vocabulary because with me, for instance, I have learned a lot of new words reading his book alone. It expresses your ideas clearly because you gain a sense of, just going back to your vocabulary, you gain a sense of a variety of vocabulary, and you learn how to use different words to describe different situations, different emotions, and those words can be more of a calmer approach than what you will usually do. Then third, it eliminates weakness in your language skills. It really does, because just like going back to your vocabulary, it really shows that your grammar is more proper, you speak more fluently and more intellectually in almost every conversation that you have. Next, I will discuss another benefit of improving your verbal messages that Rudolph had in his book, and he said that you should think about your words more in depth. He said that too many words will bore your listener. Basically, he reiterated in the book that when you talk too much or try to explain a situation too much in depth with too much words, it can get your audience off focus. It makes them not really know what the real and understand what the real message is in what you're speaking. 2, taking too much time loses your credibility. Back to being more wordy. You take too much time, you go off into another subject and come back to the main subject, people start to think that you don't know what you're talking about. So that's how your credibility is lost. And third, use words that people understand. The reason being is because you may appear intimidating, and secondly, you make your audience feel lower than you. It makes you may appear intimidated because when people use, like for instance, when I go back home, I talk to my friends in more of an intellectual level, and they get intimidated by that because they think that I think I'm better than them. So that's how they get intimidated, and which makes them not want to talk to me, and which kind of messes up my people skills. And to make your audience feel lower than you, back to when I'm talking to my friends, or how Rudolph was talking in the book when a mother and a son was talking. She was talking in a demanding voice, and she was going on and on about a situation that happened. It was just a scenario that happened in the book when a kid, he got in trouble with his mother, and it made the child feel lower than her. So now I will talk to you about some ways you can improve your verbal messages. And the most significant way that I personally believe that you can improve your nonverbal messages is with eye contact. When you show eye contact, it shows that you're interested. It shows that you want to know you want to learn what that person is saying. You're very attentive, and you're paying attention. I know I said that twice, but it really shows that. And also, it brings comfort to your audience to communicate back to you. It really does bring comfort to your audience, because when I do presentations in my Communication Foundations class, when I show eye contact and when I ask a question to I asked a question. I had a persuasive speech last 2 weeks ago, actually, and I asked a specific question to a student in the class, and I used eye contact with him, and he was very comfortable with answering it, because I looked at him with sincerity, and it gave off a more personal vibe, and I was talking to him, you know what I mean, and it created that personal vibe. Now, another way you can improve your nonverbal messages by your facial expressions. When you use facial expressions, it conveys your emotions. If you use a bad facial expression, as far as a frown, it conveys a negative face. If you use positive facial expressions as far as such as a smile, it conveys a positive face. So whatever facial expression Rudolph said you use will convey and give off the conversation, the appeal and the level of the conversation that's going to happen. Another thing, it creates an atmosphere of warmth and friendliness. When you use good facial expressions to people, especially people that you don't know, it really does create a sense of warmth and friendliness, because they don't know you, and if you give off that, it gives them more of a outlet to open up to you and pay attention to you. And lastly, it allows others to feel comfortable, and that falls in the fact with the warmth and friendliness. If you make a person feel warmth and friendliness, they feel comfortable with talking to you and being around you, and so forth and so on. So in conclusion, since I have showed you different strategies on how to improve your verbal and nonverbal messages, you should just go out and really challenge yourself to just be more verbally and non-verbally appealing to people that you don't know, people that you do, because it can really benefit any interpersonal or personal relationship that you have with anyone. So I hope you guys have been informed, and have a nice day.